Ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a fantastic supplement. Even though it's fairly new on the market of supplement, it is one of the most researched things out there, and it's also one of the ones where we have the most evidence that it actually works. I believe the reason that this is way too underrated still is because a lot of us don't think of it to have a direct impact on health, well-being, or performance, but I believe it really is, and there are literally hundreds of studies backing it up. Natural ingredient, it is an adaptogen herb that we find in nature, coming from India. If you're entirely new to my channel, my name is Victor Halforup. I have been to 2 Olympic Games, even though I started ice skating at age 18. How is that? Because I decided to get a bachelor in health and nutrition, and from there I just dived into all the small marginal gains and things that could make me healthier and better as an athlete. And the latest one that I came across is ashwagandha. That's why I'm making this video, and that's why I teamed up with KSM-66 to promote ashwagandha and hopefully help all of you guys be a little healthier at the end of this video. The reason I chose KSM-66, it's simply because they're the best out there. 2/3 basically of all the ashwagandha you're going to find in the world is produced by KSM-66, meaning more than 3,500 different products you're going to find out there is made by them. It is also superior when it comes to the extract. They use the root only, and they use the most pure extract of the actual ashwagandha root. I first heard about ashwagandha in another YouTube video, actually a professional cycling coach that spoke of it, saying it would be on his top 10 list of supplements he would recommend to cyclists, which I thought was weird because I had never tried it before. I am, though, as you may know, pretty big on supplements and just doing everything you can to biohack or become a better athlete. So I decided to look into it. More than 100 studies on ashwagandha, and it is not just great for better performance, it is great for basically everything. As many adaptogens, it can just improve your overall well-being, except this one is extremely good and it is very well proven. So the first one of those is that it lowers cortisol and is used for medication and has been used for medication for hundreds of years in most of Asia, and it is the last 5 years or so has really made its way into the Western world. It decreases cortisol and it reduces risk of anxiety, which even if you don't really feel any issues with those, as an athlete, you do produce a lot of cortisol. There's a lot of stressful events, even if you're not an athlete, and having a product that naturally lowers that is just golden. So as soon as I became aware of all these studies and seeing how convincing they were, I did reach out to KSM66, asked, can you send me a ton of samples? My wife as well. She is a 3-time Olympian. We both immediately started taking ashwagandha, and honestly the results are pretty impressive. I have measured basically all my health stats using the Lunar Ring, the Ultrahuman, the Whoop, you name it, for 4 to 5 years, and I have rarely seen any improvements in resting heart rate, especially this sleep latency, and my HRV as I have since I started taking the ashwagandha. And that is pretty impressive because it's not like I don't care about my health already, but for me it's simply just, it's easier falling asleep at night, and I feel like my mood is generally a little better, and that's just amazing. It's entirely natural, so I think it's a beautiful thing. The price for ashwagandha is way lower than so many other supplements that have a much smaller effect, so I don't see any reason to not use it. We have currently been using it for about 4 months, and we started really feeling the effect after 2-3 weeks, or at least that's when we could tell from our tracking devices. Could be placebo before then, but I felt like already after a couple of days, I felt more relaxed. But I'm not sure if that was because I started taking it in the off season or if I was just excited about the product. But I would also say most studies and most people that I heard from would say it really takes into effect after 2 weeks. Now, there are different opinions on the protocol. Most studies out there and most experts would suggest that you go 500 to 700 milligrams ashwagandha per day. I prefer taking it before bedtime because I really want to relax there. And you know, at training, I do want to get my adrenaline up. It's not like it's a calming dosing thing, but it is more of an obvious time of the day to take it right before bedtime. But a lot of people do split it up in two and take it in the morning. I personally take 600 milligrams. My wife, Sophia, is 15 kilos, 20 kilos lighter than me, and she only takes 500. That said, you can't overdose it easily. So at times you can also go up to a full gram as long as you gradually increase the dose. Some people would recommend you do cycles of it. However, I have not really seen any convincing studies that is necessary to do. And I just simply stay on it, and I haven't felt any decrease in effect. Now, one other thing I thought was really interesting is since I started taking the ashwagandha, my focus has improved. I don't know if it's directly focus enhancing or if it's just suppressing the cortisol levels so that you can stay more calm and more focused. Now, when I say I feel more focused, it's actually a thing I measured using my Neurable device that allows me to simply measure my brain waves live, the alpha brain waves, and then it can tell me how focused I've been. And I've seen trends go from week to week and months to months, comparing it to 4 months ago before I started taking the ashwagandha, where I have actually been more focused. This is my own little study, but I just think there's so many things that adds up. So really just giving you an overview, things that have helped me is improve sleep, have had much shorter time to fall asleep, basically sleep latency. I've had more minutes of deep sleep, and my total sleep volume has increased since I started taking the ashwagandha. Next one, I simply just feel more calm, and I have actually managed to improve my focus when I am working or writing training plans to people or noting my training journal. The less cortisol is also just fantastic because you're more calm, you have less of a temper. Spoiler alert, when you're two professional athletes, you tend to have small fights sometimes when it's a hard training block because you're both super exhausted, and that can easily lead to small conflicts. The fact that both my wife and I take the ashwagandha has definitely helped a bit with that. Another cool thing of having lower cortisols is that you don't store as much fat, which is definitely a side effect of high cortisol levels. Simply just feeling more energetic at the right times is fantastic. I do think this is really one of the cheapest ways there is to feel better, I guess. So big thumbs up for me here. I am excited for this partnership. I'm stoked to have these guys with me on a daily basis leading up to my third Olympic Games kicking off in just a little more than 200 days. So really excited for that. So make sure when you buy ashwagandha that it is KSM-66 because it does actually make a difference. It is raw, more extract, more pure, and from the root only. I hope you guys want to try it out. I also hope you want to subscribe to the channel, hit it with a like or leave a comment below. If you tried ashwagandha, I would love to hear your experiences. Maybe they're different than mine. So feel free to share that with me and the rest of the biohacker, athlete, health freak community out there. I hope to see you for the next video. Over and out, guys.